Hi, just very curious about things. It's something to consider. Influenza A and B, if you'd had the flu, you'd had either of these as a standard. And people with compromised immune systems, severe, not if run of the mill, underlying health issues are sadly at risk of dying. Now, not being blinded by fear with all this, I've looked into it. I've no doubt it's a biological weapon, no doubt. I've seen enough evidence for that. Whether it's released intentionally or by accident isn't the issue. Now, the figures just don't add up. Now, take the US every year, averaged out, with more in the winter and less in the summer, with influenza A and B kills 700 people a day, average. That's 700 people. Now, where is the outcry for that? Where is the fear in the lockdown? I think it's a bioweapon. So it's probably more virulent, but it can't go airborne. It doesn't transfer from animals. If you extrapolate round the planet with the influenza A and B, it maybe comes to about 3,000 a day deaths, that is, which there's been never any outcry or anything like that before here at all. Um, just some facts and figures that I've come across. As of the 19th of March 2020, COVID 19 is no longer considered to be a high consequence infectious disease by the HCID in the UK, but they don't tell you that. A new French study in the Journal of Antimicrobial Agents titled SARS-CoV-2 Fear versus Data concludes that the problem of SARS-CoV-2 is probably overestimated. Since the mortality rate for SARS-CoV-2 is not slightly different from that for the common coronaviruses identified at this study in a French hospital. An Italian study of August 2019 found that flu deaths in Italy were between 7,000 and 25,000 in recent years. This value is higher than in other European countries due to the large elderly population in Italy and much higher than anything attributed to COVID 19 so far. In a new fact sheet, the World Health Organization reports that COVID 19 is in fact spreading slower, not faster, than influenza by a factor of about 50%, so half. Moreover, pre-symptomatic transmission appears to be much lower with COVID 19 than with influenza. A leading Italian doctor reports that strange cases of pneumonia were seen in the Lombardy region already in November 2019, which is in northern Italy, raising again the question if they were caused by the new virus, which officially only appeared in Italy in January, February 2020, or by other factors such as the dangerously high smog levels in northern Italy. Danish researcher Peter Gozeb, founder of the renowned Cochrane Medical Collaboration, writes that corona is an epidemic of mass panic, and logic was one of the first victims. Former Israeli Health Minister Professor Yoram Lass says that the new coronavirus is less dangerous than the flu, and lockdown measures will kill more people than the virus. He adds that the numbers do not match the panic, and psychology is prevailing over science. He notes that Italy is known for its enormous morbidity and respiratory problems, more than 3 times in any other European country. Pietro Vernazza, a Swiss infectious disease specialist, argues that many of the imposed measures are not based on science and should be reversed. According to Vernazza, mass testing makes no sense because 90% of the population will see no symptoms, and lockdowns and closing schools are even counterproductive, he says. He recommends protecting only risk groups while keeping the economy and society at large undisturbed. The president of the World Doctors Federation, Frank Urich Montgomery, argues that lockdown measures in Italy are unreasonable and counterproductive and should be reversed. Switzerland. Despite media panic, excess mortality still at near zero. The latest positive victims were a 96-year-old in palliative care, dying, and a 97-year-old with pre-existing conditions. There are just so many things with this that have started not to add up for me. I mean, since when do we actually trust politicians, because where I come from in Scotland, it's a political party that's actually telling us that 8 people died last night. I can't see Public Health Scotland anywhere in these figures. There's no sources for them online. It's just what you're told, basically. And since when do we, trust the media? And they're the ones that are giving all of these figures and facts and figures and stuff like that. Don't be surprised if there's crisis actors involved in some of this footage. People do die of the flu, certainly, but I just think there's something else going on here. Some of the figures that you can come across, the World Health Organization basically said last year that 9 million people died from air pollution. Not a peep, no lockdowns, no nothing. The World Health Organization said 650,000 people died from the flu. Was there a peep about that? Was there a lockdown? Nope. When they say the young are dying, there are severe underlying problems with these people. Before, even if it's another, say, 18,000 supposed death from C19, that's nearly 80,000 by the end of the year. It still doesn't a patch on the normal flu. There was one thing that I came across that was deeply troubled me. The BBC, who are notorious for telling porcupines, basically said that the Spanish army finds care home residents abandoned. And I'd heard the number 86 people, but that doesn't make any sense. Okay, if there was, like, say there is 86 people in that and they're claiming they're dead, were they tied to their beds? Their best friend dies, were they not going to reach for a phone and contact somebody? Could they not go outside and speak to somebody, say, can you please come and help us? The families just ignored them, and let them die. That doesn't add up for me. There are many, many other things that don't add up for this. So, just to let you know.